Alright, so tonight I want to make a video here. A lot of times when you get ready to start your two-stroke, especially on these two-stroke guys, they're kind of hard to start if you had them stored all summer and you haven't started them. And you get ready to start them for the first time of the year, and they can be kind of a bear to start, especially if you got the fuel drained out of them and stuff. Now I found tonight, I just fired this thing up for the first time in 2 years. I didn't get to ride any last year because we really didn't have any good snow to ride in, so I never even fired mine up last year. So they've been setting for 2 years, and I do run a fuel shutoff valve there, guys, on my sleds. And also, the other thing I do before I get ready to store it is I try to drain all my oil out of my oil tank and pull the spark plugs and dump a little bit of two-stroke oil down inside the cylinders there. And that's pretty much all I do. Keep them up off the ground, keep the track up off the ground, lift it off the ground, and I also take the belt off over here. I take the belt off of it, and that's pretty much how I store it for the summertime. And then I don't fire it up until fall time. So, and here's my fuel shutoff valve, and I found a pretty good way to start these things, guys, tonight. I didn't know how this would work out, but I wanted to make a video on it. What I did is I pulled the spark plugs out and turned my fuel valve on, and then I sat there and cranked this thing. I pulled my choke, put my choke on, and without having the spark plugs in there, guys, and I sat there and cranked that thing about 10 times. I pulled it about 10 times because it's a lot easier pulling there and without your spark plugs in there, and then this way it starts working your fuel into your carburetors. So I pulled that about 10 to 12 times, and then what I did is I took a little funnel and I poured just a little bit of two-stroke mixed gas down each cylinder, just a little bit, and then I put my spark plugs in there, guys. And first pull, my very first pull after I put my spark plugs back in there, that thing fired right up. And like I said, it'd been setting for 2 years. So that made a pretty easy way of starting it up there, guys. On this here, worked out good for me on this two-stroke Yamaha snowmobile here. That's the first time I've tried it that way. The years past, I used to just dump a little the two-stroke oil gasoline mix down the cylinders here, and then I'd sit there and crank it. I'd have to crank it probably usually about 10 to 15 times before it would start. But cranking it with the spark plugs in there is definitely a lot harder. A lot easier with the spark plugs removed. So I removed the spark plugs, like I said, and then put my choke on, turned my gas valve on over there, and just cranked it, because it cranks real easy without your spark plugs in there. So I cranked her about 10 to 12 times, and then like I said, I dumped a little bit of two-stroke oil down in each cylinder, or two-stroke gasoline oil mix down in the cylinders, just a little bit, not very much, and then put the spark plugs in. And the very first pull, guys, that fired up right up, no issues whatsoever, running real good, not missing a lick at all. I wasn't sure if I'd have to pull the carbs and clean them or not, but didn't have to do that, guys. Worked out pretty slick that way. Also, guys, you can check out some of my other videos on this sled. I got a few other videos out on the Yamaha vmax XX700 here. Different things on maintenance work and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, thought I'd throw that video out there for you. Maybe help some of you out, make that a little easier starting these things in the fall time or in the winter time. Makes it a whole lot easier firing them up, that's for sure. I can't believe how easy that was to get that thing fired up. And then I let it warm up real good and throttled it up a few times, and running real good, guys. Fired right up on that first pole when I put the spark plugs in it. And like I said, it made it a whole lot easier cranking that motor without the spark plugs in there. That way I got my fuel worked its way into the carburetors. And then once I dumped a little bit of gas oil mix down the cylinders, that even helped a little more. But first pole on that thing fired right up and running real good. So it's ready to go for the winter. And I'm going to do the same thing on this 97 tomorrow. And pull the plugs out, crank it over about 10 times with the choke on, get that fuel in there, because this sled hasn't been running 2 years as well. So hopefully that'll help somebody out there. Now you might be able to try this on some of your other sleds, your Skidoos, Articats, Polaris, on these two-stroke ones. Now your 4-strokes, they're going to be a lot different. I'm not sure. I never mess with one of them 4-stroke motors, so I don't know a whole lot about how hard they are to start. I imagine them are pretty easy. Probably start pretty easily in the winter time. I don't know if you have to pull the carbs on them too and clean them or not. It's hard to say, depending on how you store them for the summertime. A lot of it depends on how you prep it for summertime storage. Makes a huge difference too. So anyways, guys, I hope that helps somebody out there trying to get one of these 2-stroke motors fired up first time in the winter, fall time, or whenever you fire it up there, guys. And so hopefully that will help some people out on making it a little bit easier firing one of these 2-stroke motors up there, guys. So check out some of my other videos on it. And like I said, on some of my other videos there, I try to get a video out at least once a week there, every Sunday night, early Monday morning there. We'll try to get a video out on doing different things on either vehicles or snowmobiles or motorcycles or whatever we're messing around with there, guys. So we catch y'all on the next video there, guys.